What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Let's get in it today. First, we're going to say, like I said, every show is going to start off with release the Epstein files now. Just release them. They deserve to be treated with respect. They deserve to be believed, and they deserve their day in court with these people. These predators need to be behind bars, or at least exposed. I don't know about what laws can be handled this many years later. I don't know. But if we find out your face and name, yeah, you best believe we ain't buying shit from you. I don't care how big you are. But release them now. Now, I got something to say, and not too many people are going to like it. I get it. I don't always say everything everybody like. But I saw a lady today, and I don't believe I saw her the day of the women coming out and speaking about their testimony about what happened to them with these evil people, and specifically, the rapist in chief, not Donald Trump, even though that's his best friend, Jeffrey Epstein. Saw a lady who says she is also a survivor of this rancid human being that is now deceased. And she said she voted for Donald Trump because she thought of him as some kind of savior for them, the people who got raped and faxed out and trafficked and all that stuff by Jeffrey Epstein. When she said this and said she was also a survivor, I froze. I looked at this screen, and everything in my body was saying, she's a survivor, she's a survivor, she's a survivor, leave her alone. But everything in my head kept saying, what the fuck is wrong with you? How in the hell can you have that bad of judgment? I mean, you literally did no homework. I mean, better yet, you didn't even do homework. You had selective amnesia, ma'am. Every one of those women were talking about how in not Donald Trump, but Jeffrey Epstein's crib, which all of them, he had Donald Trump. One of them had an 8x10. Also had like a little picture of Donald Trump and his wife Melania and him. The lady and other people that if you read about, he had pictures all over, and he couldn't stop talking about this fool. In fact, another woman said he used to bring people to his Donald Trump's place because all he did was yap, yap, yap about Donald Trump. Now, if you're in the presence of this man and he was doing unto you what he was doing unto them, you would have heard Donald Trump's name come out of his mouth. How in the fuck could you vote for a man that your guy who raped you and did whatever crazy things, I don't know if you were one of the ones he faxed out to other men, how could you vote for the man that was that man's best friend and think he's going to protect you? I mean, bad judgment. Holy shit. You need to see a therapist because bad judgment is following you like your teeth and gums. They are stuck on you. You need to get that shit up off of you. You got bad omens because I can't believe your rapist who loved him some Donald Trump, talked about him incessantly. You voted for that man to protect you. Did you not notice? Because, man, before you voted, there was a case of another young lady who was 13 at the time, and he said that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump both raped her at the same time and beat her. It's really gruesome what they did, according to this child, which was a grown woman at the time, recanting what happened when she was a child. You had that information available, ma'am, and you still voted for the demon, the monster, to save you from what? Himself? Oh boy, I just couldn't fathom this, people. And I know that she's a victim, but I'm like, at some point, could you come to the light? You over here in the dark just frolicking. I'm like, get the fuck up out the dark. Come to the light. Wake the fuck up already. How can you be in the midst of a monster and your savior is a fucking monster? That threw me, y'all. That threw me. I think you deserve everything in the world for what that man did to you. But I also think you need therapy to think that another guy who's been charged with rape was going to save you. How the fuck would that two rapists cancel each other or something? I don't get it. But either way it goes, release the Epstein files. And please wake the fuck up. And you can get these files and you can see, hey, the guy I thought was going to save me would have raped me too. But he probably didn't see you because you weren't one of the ones that Epstein offered up. It's odd to me, people. It is very odd that, you know, I can understand you're being victimized, but then you're going to choose the same type of person? And you're going to say that person is going to save you somehow? I don't understand that. I don't understand. I would have kept that to myself. I would have never said nothing about that. Because again, if you didn't know then when you voted, you know now, and you put that shit out there like now. Who is that stupid? Obviously she was, but it is what it is. But it just threw me off. I was like, who would do that? Sorry for what you went through, ma'am, but please come out of the dark and come to the light somewhat. Don't keep going into the den where people are trying to harm you. Come out to where people will love on you and treat you like you're supposed to be treated. It's scary. I'm not going to lie, though. I've had it in my family. Someone close to me got raped at 13 by a grown-ass man. And the one thing I realized, it being a family member, the one thing I realized is that it destroys you, for one. It gives you bad judgment, for two. And you often look for men that somewhat have the same quality as your rapist. Even though you don't want to, you end up being with the same type of dude. I saw it, because not only was this relative raped, she had friends. And I noticed around her friends, they had the same type of creepy dudes as their boyfriends and husbands. This is what happens, I believe, when you don't seek therapy. You start finding the same traits in men or women, depending on what happened to you, if you don't seek therapy and try to get out of this cycle. But that's what I saw with many of this person's friends and the person themselves. And that's what I see when she said that. She's picking the same type of person that was a predator to her. There's something in that predator that she was attracted to and still is attracted to. And hopefully she'll find that he's still great, because you know how predators act. They love on you and they treat you all nice and give you everything, give you money, get you this, get you that, treat you like you're the queen. No other man that isn't a predator is going to treat you like they treat you, because they want to use and abuse you. That's how pimps get girls. Treat them 100% like a queen. Nobody's ever treated them this nice. And then they go in for the prowl and fuck you over. So finding a good man is kind of like that situation. Somebody saying those great things but don't have those evil traits. And they end up having the same evil traits. Not always, but a very high percentage. So seek therapy, ma'am. Seek therapy. I don't see how you picked another rapist as your savior. That's quite odd. But anyway. Oh, and put Ghislaine Maxwell back in the prison that she deserves to be in. I want that to be something that's like said and mentioned. Everybody keeps saying that she's in this new prison, but there's nothing in the books that say she can't take her ass right back. So could we work on trying to get her ass back into that prison, or even a worse prison, so she can get away from people whom that could be harmed? Could we have that going? Could somebody keep talking about that, please? Send Ghislaine Maxwell back to a prison. This time, make it max. I mean, come on. She harmed children, destroyed lives, for centuries. I mean, centuries. They're going to be messed up for life, but I don't know about centuries. But for decades. I just want that to happen. Put most egregious crime, children, innocent children, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Some were younger than 13 because one of the people who got this other girl into it 13. So we don't know how long she was in it before she started flipping her friends into the damn game. Maybe we could put that predator back into the prison, or even a worse prison, for lying. Charge her some more because they caught her in lies. But under Donald Trump, it's all about protect those who are like me. You got to think about it for a hot second, people. How is this man protecting a known and egregious pedophile and putting them in a situation where they may get out of prison eventually? This woman should never see the light of day. She should die in prison as far as I'm concerned. 20 years was too easy. She should have got at least 120. I mean, 20 years per child maybe, but 20 years total? Nah, over 1,000 is what they saying. Yeah, her ass should be in prison until they carry her ass out in a cardboard box. Not wooden. Take her out in something cardboard so that she can just, all of it can disintegrate into the ground. That's how I feel about her. Getting special treatment. Birds of a feather flock together. Because this man wished her well when she went to prison. He knew what kind of person she was. Right? And then when she ends up having something on him, he lets her out. Don't tell me she don't have nothing on Donald Trump. How in the hell are you meeting with somebody, for what reason, out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden being lenient on said child rapist? Yeah, I don't see why people don't see that shit. There's too much there. I mean, if I, as a black man, did 1/1,000,000th of what he did, I'd be under somebody's prison. You never see me again. Next time you see me, we meeting in heaven or hell, whatever way we going. But this woman's getting a free ride to Club Fed. That should tell you enough right there. Whomever was messing with these children is huge economically, huge powerfully. And Donald Trump's already been accused of it by the 13-year-old girl. He's already been accused and in court of E. Jean Carroll sexually assaulting her, and one judge said it can be considered rape. He's already said with his own fucking lips that he grabs women by their vaginas. They'll let you do it if you're a celebrity. He said these things. How much more do you need to believe him? How much locker room talk equals actual criminal? I'm just saying. You need some of this woke, because y'all, you MAGA sheep are fucking asleep. How the hell you don't see that? It's got to happen to your child before you realize it. That's what kills me about people. You can't see nobody else's child as worthy of you fighting for. It has to be just your child. And then when it happens to your child, what are you going to be out there doing? Could you help me? My kid got hurt. Everybody else. Here's a video of my kid getting hurt. But you didn't give a fuck about nobody else's until it hit home for you. Well, every child should be home for you. Every child is worth as much as your own child. You got to knock them over the head with this shit for them to even see it. That's what's so tripped. It's crazy. But like I said, every show starting off with these precious children who are now grown, who have never seen any kind of justice. And we will keep talking about it until they do. Now, they said these documents are going to be coming out that we can't see, but I think it's the House is going to be able to see it. Maybe the Senate. I can't remember which one it was, but they're going to be able to see it. I think it's the House, though. They're going to see the documents that aren't going to have any redactions. But not all the files are going to be released. Now, you know Donald Trump, they're going to give them just the files that have all Democrat names in them. Do we look stupid? They're going to make it look like the only files they're receiving are these that got Democrat names in them. Trust and believe that. But here's the thing. I had to do some research today. One one of the lawyers, not for the case, but one of the lawyers is always like on CNN. One lady's named Lisa something, I believe. Can't remember her last name. She's always on CNN. I really like her. She really has I'll see her every once in a while in a clip. She seems like very level-headed. And I forgot the other lawyer's name. It was a man, but they were on today in some video. And they were saying that there is over 300 gigs, 300 gigabytes of data that they have. Now, here's the thing. If you look up how much data that 300 gigs, like the max of, like, if it's just text, like it's just 8 by 11 piece of paper with text on it. Do you know how much 300 gigs would fill? 300 gigs would fill a warehouse. Top to bottom, from left to right, completely filled. I was like, holy shit. Now, if it's got a lot of photos that are printed on the paper, because again, it's a documentation, it's all over, in these different documents they have on a drive. So if it's on the drive, it could be pictures and possibly video. So when you kind of like take it down from that and say maybe it's Word documents, to some PDFs, some JPEGs in there, and there's some video in there in the documents on this stuff, you can break it down to the point where at minimum it is like a 10-foot by 12-foot by 11-foot high room filled with documents. Do you think they're going to give all those documents over to the House or Senate, whichever one's going to be seeing? I don't know. Both of them may be able to see it. I'm not sure. You think they're going to give that whole 300 gigs to them? Fuck no. And also it's supposed to be in there is that birthday book that was bound with all the stuff in it. You know that Ghislaine Maxwell doesn't act like she remembered doing that. She's like, I don't know anything about this book. I don't remember it. She was in charge of putting it together. She was the one that took it to the guy to leatherback bound the bitch, and she don't remember. She should be put back in the prison for lying about that. She lied to the FBI agent. We know it. She says she don't remember the book. The book is there. All you got to do is follow the receipts. Who got it? She did. So she had to remember she got it. Back in prison. More time added because you lied to a federal police. They told you. You lied to the FBI, DOJ, CIA, anybody. Instantly jail time. You should get extra, I don't know how many years, charged for lying to an officer, and therefore go right back. This time take her ass to maximum prison. Can I say it again? Maximum prison for Maxwell. It's in her name. Give Max the max. You feel me? That's the way I look at it. I don't know about you, but she already did all what she did, and we know she did it because she's in prison for it. Now she done lied to help out Donald Trump. It should be a campaign of sending her back to jail for lying, and if she lied about this, what she said about Donald Trump, lie. Can't trust her. What's the song? Can't trust it. No. Can't trust it. Don't trust her whatsoever. Now, we got that off our chest. We got that. And I see some people who may have also been in situations in their lifetime. It says, it took me over this Final on Fire. What's up, man? It took me over 2 decades with psychologists and psychiatrists to work through what happened to me when I was 7. I'm sorry to hear what happened to you with 7, but I'm glad you got help for it. Like I said, the person in my family loved very dearly. They never sought help and therefore continue the cycle of being with the same type of people. Creepy, often nice, but very dark men. I never understood it, but then again, I was never assaulted like that. So I understand people who haven't been, how they can keep in that cycle. But somebody that loves them has to wake them up and say, baby, you're still in the cycle of your abuse. you need to go find help, because every woman and every man you get with is very similar to your predator. And the way y'all break up is because they become more like a predator. Just saying. Just saying. Pray you find that help you need. What'd you say? DJ said she lied, saying she didn't know of any guy being with a girl in an inappropriate manner. Yeah, that was 100% lie. There were women said that she did it to them, was in the same room. There are other women that say that she didn't do it to them, but she was in the room with them every time it happened. Or she was the one that got the massage first, that validated the girl, because the girl felt like, I can't do a massage, and I don't think this will work. Just give me a massage real quick. Just give me a massage. And whatever she did, oh, you're so great. You're wonderful. Yeah, it's time for you to go in. You're great. He'll love you. And then went in there and started talking about massaging his feet, massaging his legs, massaging whatever, the arms, and then playing with his slong. She was there. That's another one where she should be going back. Tack them on. Each lie should add on another 5 to 10 years. Shouldn't be just one lie. She told a plethora of them. Each lie, whatever it is for lying to the FBI, whatever, if it's 5 years, she should get the max. 5 years for each lie. I done seen it. I done heard at least 3, and I didn't listen to the entire 9 hours. That's at least 15 years, I would think. Added on. Keep it up. Go watch the whole 9-hour video. Each lie should be 5 more years. But under this administration, shit, each lie will probably get her free. I would not doubt that billionaires or whoever did this, millionaires and billionaires, are trying to get to her through Donald Trump and him faxing it out saying, hey, I'll get her to say you didn't do anything either. $10 million. Then do another interview. And this person never did anything to me either. I never heard him even being there. On and on and on down the list. Trust me, with the way Donald Trump works, I have no doubts in my mind. I ain't got no facts on this, but I just know how he works. Every man that's rich as shit, that's in that book, Donald Trump talking to him. Yeah, we got your name in here, bro. It says you got the pictures and everything. Yep, Yep, I blackified it. You got your name in there. Yeah. What you gonna do about that? Because I'm about to release these. I'm not gonna release all of them. You gonna come up with something? You got a little change? Okay, cool. I got your name out. Redact that one. Oh yeah, whatever. The head dude of whatever, Saudi Arabia. Oh, really? Your name's all over this, bro. What am I gonna do with that? I guarantee you, that is what this man is doing while we in wait time. He got his name out and he called everybody else to get some change from him. Why would he change? Remember, him and Epstein, that's what they dealt in. Secrets. I'll keep your secret as long as you pay me. Donald Trump sees bank accounts. He sees finances. Fuck all these women that he calls a hoax, a Democrat hoax. Let me contact all the people in this and tell them I got their name. I would check the phone logs if I were you, House and Senate Democrats. Check Donald Trump's phone logs since he found out his name was in it and he had all those people climb through it to find his name. I guarantee you will find a paper trail of some sort. If not a paper trail, his Bitcoin or whatever the fuck his coin is shot the fuck up soon after he made those phone calls. I promise you that. That's his goal. That's what he's done his whole life. After reading and listening to Michael Wolff about how Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were like two birds of the same feather, and they were boys like brothers and shit, you start to understand that Jeffrey Epstein was dealing in secrets. Donald Trump was doing the same thing. Jeffrey Epstein was about to tell on Donald Trump for embezzling money through a home that he bought for $40 million and instantly sold for $90 million. I would check those records back then to see if $90 million ever reached Donald Trump Or did his bank account just end up with like $30 million in it immediately after that house was sold and the rest of the money just evaporated? I would be doing that. Wherever state that is, I'd be checking that fund real quick to see if Michael Wolff has got it right as far as Jeffrey Epstein is concerned, because he was ratting Donald Trump out. And it's just strange how when he was ratting Donald Trump out, having this long ass conversation, and Jeffrey Epstein, but Michael Wolff kind of released some of it in his book. Next thing you know, Donald Trump ends up ratting Jeffrey Epstein out. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to say, and you probably heard this before, how the hell did Donald Trump rat out Jeffrey Epstein? How? They said he did it. But tell me something. How do you know he was? Did you catch him one time and then decided to rat him out? Or did it just be so strange that after you sold your home, that you bought underneath Jeffrey Epstein, fucking him over because he was buying it for $30 million. And supposedly, based off of Michael Wolff, he bought it for $30 million. He was buying it for $30 million. He brought Donald Trump over just to see how he was going to set up the pool. Just telling his homie, I'm going to set the pool up. What do you think I should do? Then Donald Trump goes in and put a $10 million additional bid on it and buys it out from under him. Jeffrey Epstein knows that Donald Trump ain't balling like that. He ain't got $40 million. I'm the billionaire in this bitch. He ain't. Donald Trump gets this house for $40 million, and it's strange that it sells for $90 million. He never took control of the house. He was about to rat Donald Trump out for being, for a person that was, embezzling money into this country via Russian oligarchs. Wow. It's a wonder why Donald Trump can never say anything about Putin, because everybody that does work in Russia goes through Putin. So Putin knows that Donald Trump was embezzling money into this country for years, and I guarantee you he's got receipts, because his stooges is the one who set Donald Trump up to be able to do this shit. So that's why Donald Trump can't say a word about Putin. Putin got his number. Putin's got records of what Donald Trump has done. Most people think that he probably went to Russia and did what he did to supposedly that 13-year-old girl here in the United States. He did it in Russia, and they probably got some video or footage of him. That's what most people think, and that could be a possibility. But we know, based off of Michael Wolff, who had the interview that he says he's got the receipts on, that Donald Trump was actually laundering money, not embezzling, my bad, laundering money through buying properties for Russian oligarchs. So Donald Trump is into money laundering, according to Jeffrey Epstein and Michael Wolff. That's what Russia has over Donald Trump. You ain't gonna never hear Donald Trump say nothing about Russia, because Donald Trump is being held by the nut hairs, just dangling them. Can't do shit to him. And in fact, he makes Donald Trump look stupid at every chance he got. He went and had meetings with the guy from India, the leader from India, which Donald Trump threw 50%, I believe, tariffs on, because he was taking Russian oil and he was trying to keep Russia in line. Russia was like, fool, please. Donald Trump was stroking his hand, Putin's hand, acting all super cool with him. Putin wasn't doing anything but laughing at him as he was driving off, just smiling. Look how I make this mug look. I got this dude just by the nuts. He ain't doing shit to me, or he ain't doing nothing but doing shit for me. Look, I would have never got into an American, the Beast, American vehicle. I'm a fucking Russian spy. I'm in this vehicle, whereas I could take anything I want from this fool right the fuck now. I could literally take his life right now, and ain't shit nobody can do about it. This fool invited me into his vehicle. But I choose not to, because I want to use him as a tool to fuck over America forever. Do you realize the power that America has around the world is weaker because of Donald Trump? Not stronger, weaker. All those leaders that Donald Trump is trying his best to control came together and said, fuck America. All these dictators talking about we're going to create our own thing. Fuck America. And Donald Trump was all butthurt that he had to say something on his Truth Social, blaming Again, can't say nothing about Russia. Got him by the testicles. He talked about China trying to take over. Why? Because here's the difference between Donald Trump and Xi, the leader of China. When Donald Trump had Putin in Alaska, it was Donald Trump that was bowing and, yay, he's here. Oh my God. When it came to Putin going to Xi and the leader of India and all these other countries, the leader of India and Putin were holding hands. Walking and holding hands like they skipping down with rocks and shit. They about to kiss. They were holding hands. This fool didn't hold Donald Trump's hand at all. Trump was shaking his hand all over the place. The man was like, what the fuck is this little dirty orange fool doing? Okay, give my hand back. Walked down, got into the beast. Never, ever, no president would put that fool in the beast. But the sycophant over here did. Looking weak as fuck. This country talk about being strong. What you know what's tantamount of the Democrat who said, I wrote Donald Trump a very stern, strong letter. You know what's tantamount to that? Donald Trump visually looking like the weakest man on the fucking planet, even though he is the most powerful man in the world right now. Doesn't match up to what it is. That's why he's Mr. Bone Spurs. But what's tantamount to that is Donald Trump wanting to name the Department of Defense the Department of War. You trying to look strong when you straight bitch. How the hell are you going to look strong by changing a word? When you go out and shake the hands and you for Putin. How does that look like you're strong? The same guy that said that the leader of North Korea, which was there too, he wrote me a love letter. Boy, do you know these countries kill gay people? They think of gay people as weak. They kill gay people. And Donald Trump came back, according to them, and acted like a gay dude. The leader of the country like a gay dude. They don't respect gay people. And that right there, as far as America looks to other countries, they're looking at him like this is the type of dude, the leader of their country is a person that we would throw off a fucking bridge. That's their leader? That's their view of Donald Trump. And every time you take a chance to even see this man next to a leader, he's always the simp, unless it's one of our own allies. When he's around somebody like Canada, stuff like that, he always want to stand up straight and tall and act like he's stronger than everybody. When he's around NATO or something like that, he want to push people out of the way and act like he's stronger than everybody. But get around Putin and all the others and he's straight bitch. Ask yourself why. Because I believe there's something wrong with that. Something's wrong with it, that this man is always cowering to our enemies and act like he's Mr. Tough Stuff to our allies. I think he want to be in the billionaire, not billionaire, because they have to be a billionaire. I think he want to be in the dictatorship club, boys club. He wants to be there right next to them and be just as strong as they are. I want to be the strong, because he looks up to them like a little teenage girl looks up to like a big star that they like, or a K-pop star. You know what I'm saying? He's all giddy, happy and joyful. It brings him joy that he's close to these people. He doesn't believe he's one of them, but he wants to be. So he's trying to turn his country into whatever they did. But guess what, Donald Trump? If you even turned his country into whatever they did, you're still a simp because you're trying to chase to be them. The leader leads. The leader is something that other people want to be. You're a follower that's leading the most powerful country in the world, but you're sitting here following countries that were weaker than us. But now, seeing as how American billionaires whom he set his ass around and talked to, this past week. Them kissing his ass, which was sickening, because you think of technology, you think of moving forward, you think of a lot of these people were quote unquote Democrats and caring about the people, all over here just kissing his ass because they want AI to be the strong leader, and him to let them break rules and regulations so that they can make $1 gazillion at our expense. And we buy their products. I promise you, we need to start up new billionaires in this country, ones who are people conscious. We need to stop buying their shit, and we need to destroy them, because these people are acting like we don't fucking matter. They're meeting with this guy because they got so much money and saying, fuck all these other people. They're not better than us. We're way better than them. I mean, you don't believe me in some of the things that they said. And you wonder, it's like, why would you be kissing his butt? I thought you guys were like, most of you guys were like liberals out there in Silicon Valley. But it's like the conservatives have taken over, or they don't believe in either liberal or conservative, and their love is dollar signs. And no matter what, if they got to kiss the ass of a Democrat or Republican, they are whoever opens the doors for them, which is kind of sickening, because you really don't have any morals. Your morality is capitalism. So you look at whoever I got fuck over to get to the money, that's cool. That's who we have leading us. But I call it, you remember back in the day, there used to be a song. I can't remember his name, but there's a song that we be stroking. This is what I call this shit. The tech bros stroking Donald Trump. Big time. Listen to these sycophants.
Well, thanks for hosting us. I think, all of the companies here are building, just making huge investments in the country.
Thank you for incredible leadership, including getting this group together.
It's incredible to be among everyone here, particularly you and the First Lady.
Thank you for being such a pro-business, pro-innovation president. It's a very refreshing change.
It's sickening. Thank you. Thank you. Can I crack his cheeks open? Let me get to the taint. I'm like, if I'm this rich, I ain't kissing nobody's ass. I didn't work all this hard to go kiss somebody's ass. Fuck all that. Why would I do that? Why would I end up going and kiss somebody's ass just so he can give me opportunity to make more money? I'm like, dude, look, if I got more money than most people in America, why the hell, or what the hell are you chasing? You got more money than most people in America will ever have. You will never be broke. If you close down all your businesses today, you would still be rich for the next 100 years. You would die rich. Your kids would die rich. Your great grandkids would die rich without having another fucking job. And you're out here trying to fuck over hardworking people to build more and more and more and more and more wealth. At some point, this shit is sick. At some point, this shit is sick. Chasing that kind of wealth has some kind of mental issues attached to it. I'm just saying. Ain't nothing wrong with wanting to be rich, but when you get to a point where you're rich beyond your wildest dreams and you still chasing money, something wrong with you. Bill Gates was there too. Yeah. Bill Gates sitting there. He had, boy, I was like, people whom you thought was liberal, who've done a lot of liberal things, meaning helping out people and not always just thinking about money. Talked about, Bill Gates is a part of that group of people that said they were going to give away all their money before they died. And you out here kissing ass when you got all this money that you're just giving away. And what do you need? What do you need? I'm telling you, we need a new set of billionaires or multimillionaires to throw these people off. Ones that are more socially conscious, ones that really give a damn about the people. You can still be conservative and not be an ass. Conservative just means you're being conservative with your money, fiscally conservative, which that's no problem with that. Many Democrats are fiscally conservative. You have a budget. Some of you, many of us do. We have budgets. We either have homes or apartments. We pay our bills on time. Many of us have good credit, and that's what we chase. That's conservative values right there. Not spending more than you make, trying your best to make sure that all your bills are paid based on your budget. That's conservative. It's not no magical feat that conservatism. They try to get you all gassed up like conservatism means something different than what everybody else is chasing. Their conservative is all about fucking everybody over to get ahead. That's what they mean by conservatism. When they talk about like conservative is all about, being a family person, Democrats are family people. That ain't really something to act like you do great at. I mean, look at Ted Cruz. His kids don't even want to touch him. How the hell is that conservative? It makes no sense. When they talk about conservative, they talk about, raising kids and up. Everybody does that shit. That's conservative. Then that's almost every human being that raises their kid to some degree. It's still, they may not be there all the time. They're working, but still they're conservative in that aspect. What else is they talk about conservative? Again, being family, believing in the law. Most human beings, did you understand that out of everybody's culture, there are many varying numbers, but the black community, less than 4%, it's like 3.5% on average, less than 4% of black people will ever commit a crime, ever. Less than 4% of white people will ever fucking commit a crime. That makes the majority of us good people. We won't hurt nobody. It is at 3.5, and that ain't even the people who hurt people. That 3.5 is literally anything from, shoplifting up to unaliving people. The whole gamut, less than 3.5% or around 3.5%. It ranges from 3 to 3.5. I think one year was like 4. And that's the same for all race, well, at least black and white. You got Asian, that's less. You got Latino, they're close to the 3.5%. But immigrants are way lower. They're somewhere under 1%. I mean, just do your homework. You'll be tripped to hear this shit. But you demonize people, but we all have that small group of people. When we're talking about crime, we're talking about 3 to 4% of our people. Why are we ever talking about the 96.5% who ain't doing shit but just trying to live and get by? We spend all this time because they want you to be a boogeyman. The boogeyman is the 3 to 4%. You worried about the 3 to 4%, while the rest of us, even the ones who are sitting scared, shitless, are making bills and plans. This is why it trips me out when I love my people, but when we start talking about, well, we want prison reform, I'm like, do you understand you want prison reform for 3.5% of your fucking population? What the fuck do you want for the rest of us? You never hear that shit. You be like, the fuck you want for the rest of us? The rest of us wanted to be able to get loans in this bitch. The rest of us want to be able to get investments in this bitch. We ain't fighting for VC loans and bank loans. We talking about we passed a bill for prison reform. Bitch, I ain't going to prison. The majority of us are not going to prison. So why the fuck are we making bills about prison all the time? Well, they doing something for the black community. Well, it's prison reform. Bitch, ain't all of us going to prison. The fuck is that shit? The first thing that comes out of people's mouths that are black. And I'm like, dude, what about getting homes? What about getting loans? What about getting investments? What about starting businesses? Bitch, we ain't making nothing about that. We just talking about prison. There's more to us than that. When you ask Republicans, what have you done for black people? Well, we had prison reform. Bitch, if you don't get that shit up out your mouth when you talking about black people, I swear I'm going to slap the taste out of some of y'all fucking mouths coming around me talking about prison reform when you talk about black people. There's just as much white people in fucking prison. We talk about them, we're talking about getting jobs and we talking about prison. Yeah, but shut the fuck up next time. I promise you, I'm going to slap the taste out of somebody's mouth when I say what are they doing for black people when they talk about prison. Shit about that. Nobody wants to go to prison. We don't want to get racism up out of here, and that's why many of us are going. But you better start talking about things that are moving shit forward instead of talking about everything. Oh, this and that. I mean, man, no. We need to talk about other things. Housing. We need to talk about investments. And that's for all people, even poor people, middle class people. We talk about crime too much. We need to work on it. But it's not as bad as people say. As many people we have in this fucking country, crime should be, just by percentages alone, should be high as shit. But 4%? During slavery, crimes, even though they didn't call them crimes because we were their property, that shit had to be like 60%. Not only were they killing each other, they was killing us with impunity. Wake up on that shit. Start talking about some stuff that's positive for us, something that's working for us. And all of us can work on some things that are working in that process. Crime is bad, but crime is not everything. When they get you worried about the things that you fear, you don't focus on the things that are actually projecting your lives forward. They're talking about crime in Washington, D.C. and crime in Chicago when there's more crime by far in Memphis, Tennessee than either of these damn places. But it's Democrat-led and Republican-led. We need to work on that one. That's what's killing me. And by focusing on that, I want you guys to stop focusing on that part of it and focus on what happened today. Jobs report came out, y'all. Y'all saw the jobs report? The jobs report came out. Donald Trump fired a lady that led the department that gives us the numbers. She had 72,000 jobs or 79,000, something like that, jobs that was somewhere around there, 72 to 79 jobs that were created the month before they let her go. This was just what, last month? Or the month before. And they let her go. Donald Trump's numbers are bad and something's wrong with the department. Blah, blah, blah. He's trying to get somebody else. One of his sycophants just had a congressional hearing to lead that department, which he was a sycophant. This dude couldn't even say that Donald Trump lost the election. I like how Elizabeth Warren asked this question because it really is a litmus test. Because if these guys can't admit that Donald Trump lost, they're not worthy of being in that position because they can't tell the truth. If you can't tell the truth, how do you expect somebody to get into a department and do their job where you have to rely on their word, on their science, on their abilities? And if you can't answer that simple question, then you really can't fulfill your job. It's a very simple one. And if you can't do it, you're more beholden to the guy who's trying to get you in than you are to the people that you're supposed to be honest to so they can make good decisions for them and their families. That's why you should be there, for the Constitution, not for the orange turd. And they're there for the orange turd. But we got August numbers, 22,000 jobs created. Now we understand that every time these job numbers come out, I would say almost every time they come out, it's almost always subtracted. There are a few times where like 6,000 jobs were added the next time. And it all depends. If you don't know, I made a video about it on different platforms, even on this one. They get information back. And there's a lot of, statisticians and people that are working for the department that have been doing this for years. This is what we got to rely on. In fact, the entire world relies on our numbers. When Donald Trump gets somebody in there to start fucking with our numbers, the world doesn't trust it. That's why they have no problem with these leaders meeting together whom didn't like each other, now realizing that we can probably make the euro or some other particular dollar the main dollar. And make no mistake about it, when our bonds start going down and our bills start being due and our dollar is weaker, we are absolutely, unequivocally fucked. And that's the road we're going down. We can see the light in that bitch. It's a distance, but we can see it. And it's all because of Donald Trump. His first presidency set us up for that. Biden tried to reverse it, did everything he could. And then all of a sudden, they elected this asshole back into place. And now we're going down that same path of where everybody's like, we can't trust America. We don't like America. America's lost. We got to find somebody else because America doesn't have the steady hand. America's weird. America's, went crazy. Donald Trump, blah, blah, blah. They put this dude back into place. We look weak. We look feckless. We look like we have no fucking clue what we're doing. And we're trying to be bullies when we're actually pussies. How the hell does that work? You got a leader that's, I'm big bully, Department of War, with bone spurs. I'm big bully, Department of War. When Putin comes, I kiss his ass incessantly. How the fuck does that show strength? Give me a chance. Give me a time, MAGA. Give me one time that Donald Trump in his life has shown any strength. Real strength. Being mean to Americans, that's strength to you. Being mean to MAGA, to liberals, that's strength to you. I would put the whatever you would consider the strongest liberal against Donald Trump in a ring any day. Gavin Newsom would wax the hell out of Trump. Trump would come at him and beep, beep, beep. Donald Trump would be on the ground licking dirt. I guarantee it. There's nothing strong about Donald Trump. The only thing strong on him is his thick ass ankles. That's it. His verbiage, any black woman can out verbiage him. She just don't want to lower herself to his standards. But trust me, toe for toe, blow for blow, verbally, a woman would make Donald Trump get into fetal fucking position, especially a black woman. He'd be crying all day for the next couple of weeks because he's weak as hell. You say something about him. I ain't no puppet. I ain't no puppet. Tell me where the strength is. You know what's so tripped? They think Donald Trump is strong. These white nationalists, they think he's strong. Steve Bannon's and all that think he's strong. There's their understanding of strong. Donald Trump will get his ass waxed verbally by a black child. By a black child. And they think that's strength. A black kid, I grew up in a household, Donald Trump would be crying if we went blow for blow with the dozens. Me at 12. But they're excited that a white guy can actually just riff off a little bit. Oh man, that's strong. Look how he talks to everybody. He gives a little name, little Marco. That shit's weak. That shit's weak. And that's strength to them. It shows you what kind of wussies who he surrounds himself with. It's all lip service. And we out here trying to prove that we strong by killing innocent people on a fucking boat that they was probably fishing. They haven't told anybody what the hell they were doing. But you got a little ass boat, big ass ship shooting a fucking whatever, torpedo or whatever to blow up this little boat. When they could have just drove up to the side of that bitch and be like, threw a light on it. I need you to get out of the, I need you to get out. Drugs, okay, we're gonna confiscate that and you go into prison. Simple as that. No, they had to kill him. That's wussy shit. Because it's simple to do. They think that's strength. They're making us look weak as fuck around the world. Every country is probably like, look at them. They're blowing up babies and 12 people. Like it's a full-on war over there. What the fuck is wrong with these people? They think that's strength. You're not going to bring drugs in my... While there is a whole ass truck traveling from one other country, Mexico, some other place, that's got 100 times more than that damn boat bringing it into America. We're going to stop it coming to America. And guess what? This boat wasn't even headed to America. And think about it. That little ass boat would have never made it to America. And they got people fooled that that's what it was for. Ain't gonna bring drugs in our country. Fool, do you think that boat would have made it to America? It's gonna stop off and get gas like every other country or some shit? What? It's just crazy to me. You thought that little boat was gonna make it. That is a lie. Obvious lie. A little ass boat filled with whatever they say narcotics. How did you know it was full of narcotics? How you know that? Were you tracking a boat? Did you see where it came from? Did it have on the side of the boat that they was in a gang? Did somebody inform you that it was a said gang? Because the country sent out a message like, like what's going on? They literally had their planes fly over these ships that are out there blowing up their citizens to kind of push them off. Then Donald Trump brings more planes to fly around their area. Donald Trump is trying to start a war with Venezuela, killing people with no cause. They didn't pose a threat to America because they wasn't near America. They didn't pose a threat to America like the substances that was on it because they weren't near America. It wasn't like they was coming to our borders. They were nowhere near us. This shit does not add up, y'all. They did that to, in my heart of hearts, I think they did that to get people from thinking about that and thinking about Donald Trump and all his woes. And let's just kill some people and then let them talk about that for the next couple of weeks. Donald Trump has been doing little thing after little thing after little thing after little thing to keep your mind off of Jeffrey Epstein and these women survivors. Been doing everything he could. And I don't think that's too far away from what he was doing there. Is to still try and use the news cycle by doing every little thing. He knows that most of America ain't going to do shit about killing 11 or 12 people. That country ain't going to really do shit if he kills 11 people. But if he killed a whole city, oh, it's war. So they're sacrificing people's lives just for what? Those drugs would have never made it to our country. So you telling me that anybody traveling in international waters, nowhere near America, you can just go out and have fucking practice with your military weapons? You can. What are you carrying? What? Cane? What? Cane? Sugar cane? Oh, okay. Does it look like cocaine? Yeah, it does. All right, boom. We thought it was cocaine. 12 of them, that's all right. That's what that shit's tantamount of. How do you know what's on that vehicle? And if you knew what was on that vehicle as they was packing it, why didn't you arrest them before they got out into the waters? I mean, it's just too simple to realize that there's something wrong with our government. And this plan that they're pulling off, I promise you somewhere in that second book, because most people don't realize, Project 2025, the book that we were able to see, the 900 pages or whatever, that was a tiny part of Project 2025. Russ Vought said it in an interview, undercover interview. He didn't know it was undercover, that there was an additional book and one of his sidekick that helped write some of this stuff, Meadowcroft or something like that is his last name. He mentioned it too in a side interview, which he didn't know he was being recorded, that there is another book that they did not want anybody else to see but the people who were supposed to carry it out. They will receive it on a app or on a back channel, which it turns out to be this app that they caught Pete Hegseth on, in which they're discussing all this stuff that disappears. You notice when we found out about this app that they were using, it was during another strike that Pete Hegseth pulled off before. Why are we having small wars with people without our Congress knowing it? Why are we killing people without telling our country and our Congress that get permission to do such a thing? That's how this country works. And they're allowing this man to kill people without telling America why the hell we killing people? There's no imminent threat for those people to lose their lives. No imminent threat. So if we don't have an imminent threat, we need permission to do said thing. If there's something coming at us, a missile, we can shoot it out right away. We ain't got to get no congressional nothing. But it's in the international waters and it's nowhere near us and it's not even traveling in the trajectory of America. You telling me now America can just blow their asses out of the water and just get away with it? That's not the country that our brothers and sisters out here fighting or fighting for. It's not the country that American citizens want. We shouldn't be starting wars for no fucking reason. Tiny ones, big ones, or even making people so pissed off that they want to have a war. We have daughters and sons and husbands and wives stationed in these areas. If you took 11 of their citizens, who's to say that they can't take 15 of our soldiers? It's just the dumbest thing. I thought you was trying to create peace, Mr. Won a Peace Prize. How is it getting a Nobel Peace Prize, you killing innocent people until proven guilty, but you proved them guilty before they got a chance to prove themselves innocent? It's just terrible. Thank you, 515, for the donation. Said, ask yourself, do drug smugglers usually travel in groups of 11? No, they do not. And you couldn't really see anything, but did you see weapons? And if they're traveling to something that's going to come to America, that means they probably carry that little amount to a bigger ship. Then why didn't you get the bigger ship? You just stopped right there. It makes no sense, y'all. You don't take a rocket scientist to figure out something's not right. And the story they're telling you is not true. It's just not. And our Democrats, independents, and Republicans alike, you're not exempt from doing your fucking jobs, need to get to the bottom of this shit. Pronto. Because if he's testing the waters that he can just shoot anybody out the fucking world just because he wants to, who's going to stop him from doing that to American citizens? Who's going to stop him from doing it to any other person that's in international waters? He can have target practice. This guy, these people on this boat were not leaders of a country that were harming America or sending drugs to America. And they say they're trying, one of the pundits on one of the stations or another said something to the fact that I guess it's Maduro who's the leader there. I may have it wrong. Venezuela. They think that America wants to dethrone him and get the country to do something else, like have another leader. That would mean we would have to go to war again. I thought Donald Trump was the one who was supposed to get rid of wars. I thought that's what his goal was, to stop wars, right? It ain't what he's trying to do. Not at all. But yeah, that's what happened. Let's get back to the jobs again. 22,000 jobs is what we created. It's going to trend down, I'm almost positive. So in the next month, that 22,000 may be 10,000, maybe 9. It's rare that it increases. But if you listen to Donald Trump and Howard Lutnick, oh, it's going to increase. And don't worry about these numbers. Oh, y'all got to hear this shit. Y'all got to hear this if you haven't heard it already. Let me see what Donald Trump says. So I can bring that video up.
The real numbers that I'm talking about are going to be whatever it is, but will be in a year from now when these monstrous, huge, beautiful places, they're palaces of genius, and when they start opening up, you're seeing.
He said the numbers are going to be whatever it is. See, this is the problem that I have with people. Let's play that back again. Let's listen to what he says They skate over what he says because they know he makes nonsense, but I really would like for them to stop and talk about the shit he just said. Because it makes no sense.
The numbers that I'm talking about are going to be whatever it is, but
Are going to be whatever it is. The real numbers are going to be whatever it is. That shit don't make sense. It came out of his mouth. The leader of a free country. The real numbers are going to be whatever it is. The real numbers, based upon how we have done this for fucking ever, are the numbers that you just received. 22,000. To believe that this idiot knows math better when he can't even speak is asinine. It's stupid. It's dipshittery. Real number is going to be whatever it is. Sir, if you were so learned, the real number should have came out your fucking mouth right now. If you had a better source, oh, the real numbers is 79,000. No, you didn't know what it was now because they told you it was just less. And you go, it's going to be whatever it is. Oh, just horrible.
it will be in a year from now when these monstrous, huge, beautiful places, they're palaces of genius. And when they start opening up, you see.
He's talking about these people sitting around him, which I have another video you'll see. We've already seen, I think, before. Zuckerberg, all these different other people saying to him, he's saying that these big, beautiful monsters, which he's talking about, these tech titans who are there trying to get AI. He's saying that when they finally, get to working and shit and build these, whatever they're doing, which he won't go into detail. Again, if you don't have the plan in place and you don't have the name of the spot that's going to be starting to give these jobs right now, why are you doing this shit right now? You would think you would get everything up to the point and say, oh yeah, we're going to have the, Facebook or Meta Center and coming to us, and that's going to offer 35,000 jobs, and this is going to offer this, and Apple's going to build this, that's going to offer us another 125,000 jobs. You would think you would be somewhat in a professional way to say that was going to be the case, but instead you have nothing. You just say, oh, these tech monsters are going to create something. That you're like, what the fuck are you creating? You have not mentioned what it is that you're going to do. Not once. This man has always sat here and said that these billionaires are going to do something. But like I told you, it will take a decade for any of them to start any particular business and be able to hire people, because he's talking about building right now. It's under construction. We haven't heard of one construction being built just yet. The construction that was happening for the semiconductors and the chips, that was under Biden. That started under Biden. Not to say that Donald Trump in his first presidency, he was talking about doing it, remember? But then they canceled like last minute. They're supposed to get this certain property, the same property that Biden got, and it actually started being built. They canceled it under Donald Trump. And Biden went through and got the bill done. And next thing you know, it's starting to be built. And Donald Trump is out here trying to take credit for shit that was already in motion. It's some of the most, it's like disrespectful to think that people are this fucking stupid. For MAGA, you guys should be feeling disrespected that he thinks that you're so stupid that he would lie to you and you would eat it up, and you're eating it up. Donald Trump said these people are going to be bringing out jobs and these monsters and things like that. I want to give you some understanding. Howard Lutnick, who should be coming up after this, doesn't say this in this interview, but earlier in the year, Howard Lutnick, I don't know if he exposed himself without really wanting to expose himself, but on Fox, he's talking about these corporations bringing back manufacturing companies here that's going to offer jobs to Americans. But what he said was that 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds, as they're trying to get jobs, will be able to have opportunities for jobs. And AI. He never mentioned once manufacturing jobs, so to speak. And he never mentioned union jobs, even though unions backed him because they thought that was going to happen. he mentions, and he often mentions, AI, which this meeting is kind of about the fact that, they're going to be able to do a lot of AI stuff, and he's going to let them do it, because if you know a little bit about AI, you don't have to know a lot, that these machines take a lot of energy, and they're placing a lot of these machines in low income areas, away from rich people. They don't want them near them. And they cause a lot of environmental problems, the heating and different things of that nature. And they're massive. So they're trying to get past regulations and things of that nature, that Donald Trump is going to pretty much release a lot of these regulations, that Democrat leadership is like, no, we care about the people too much. You can't do that in someone's community. Maybe out in, the desert somewhere, but not in their community. Well, Donald Trump don't give a damn where they put it at. They could put it next to a school. He wouldn't give a fuck. So that's what they like about it. But that's what they're trying to do. And Donald Trump is a sycophant. Give me money, you can do whatever the hell you want. And that's what they're basically saying. These people are literally trying to kill, to harm, disrespect, put us in poverty. And this Donald Trump is willing to take whatever amount of money to sell us down the river. I always said to people who are MAGA, and I don't know if they're going to ever fucking come out of this bubble, but I told them, I said, why would you want a business person as a president? Ask yourself, how many jobs have you had? And to give an example of one person I talked to, I said, how many jobs have you had? And they were probably in their 30s or whatever, almost 40. They said, I've had 4 jobs. I said, okay, why'd you leave your previous job? Just some management issues, no big deal. You know what I'm saying? Just, they weren't respecting me enough in certain situations. They weren't giving me a raise. So I went out and got another job and got a raise. I said, okay, what happened with the previous job you had? Say, kind of the same thing. And I wanted a raise, and they weren't giving out raises. And so you pretty much moved from your jobs because the job that you have doesn't respect you enough to give you a raise so that they can move you from one class to the other, based on the fact that you work your butt off and still don't get ahead. So they don't respect your time, or they don't give you enough money to respect the life that you need to lead to take care of you and your family. Is that what you're basically saying? So yeah, some of them, they can be a prick, ain't necessarily, but good people, but they're not the ones I'm working with, aren't the ones who run the place. It's the owners that's doing it. Bing the fuck up. You just said it's the owners that's doing it to you, but the people you work with they're cool, but they just can't offer you these raises that you want so that you can grow. So therefore you quit and get another job. It tells you right now, you're still in the same industry, right? Yeah, I'm saying, so you weren't respected by these business owners. So tell me, why the fuck would you want a president to be a businessman when all they do is cut back and make profit and fuck over the little people? You wanted that as your savior. Save you from what? Being rich? Save you from what? Getting a living wage job? Save you from what? Ever getting a fucking raise? Save you from what? Why the fuck would you want a business person running the country when they don't give a fuck about you? They care about the bottom line. And if the bottom line means your ass don't get a raise, that you get pushed down a little bit and you have to take a pay cut, they'll do it. And you want that as your president. See how you don't make any fucking sense? They so stuck in that MAGA bubble, man. I mean, it's like got a chokehold on them. They still can't see it when you paint it in a picture that's so visible. But the person I know who's no longer my friend, he saw that it was visible. When he saw this, it was in his eyes. He's paused. He's like, and then he went back to this MAGA line of thinking. You're just trying to do that because you have these liberal thoughts, man. That shit ain't true. I'm like, that's your life, bro. I just gave you a vision on your life. I ain't said nothing about liberal, nothing. I just told you, why would you want a businessman as your boss as your president, when you just told me every job you had, they didn't appreciate how hard you work for them. They wouldn't give you a raise. And you want that type of person to run your country. And I said, think about it. Donald Trump as a business person. You know how many people got a job working at at a casino. The casino was already running, wasn't closed. They already had jobs. And while they were building and putting all this money in, they hired so many people who had jobs. But then he bankrupted that bitch and they went broke. They all lost their jobs. That happened 6 times. And you wanted to put the American economy into the hands of a man who can't run a casino, which basically prints money. I guarantee you, MAGA just heard that, still don't get it.
I think you'll see job numbers that are going to be absolutely incredible.
The Donald Trump economy, the explosive power of his tariff policy, his plants being built in America, to come home and build advanced manufacturing in America. When that comes starting 6 months from today to a year from today, you're just going to be impressed.
The real
Starting today, 6 months from today, maybe a year from now, they want you to wait a year to see any improvement. They said this right before the numbers came out because they know the numbers are going to be horrific. Yeah. They know this. Do you know under Donald Trump, since January, since he took office, how many jobs have been lost in this country? If you don't know, I'm about to tell you. Under Donald Trump, since January until August, federal government lost 97,000 jobs. Manufacturing lost 78,000 jobs. Wholesale trade lost 32,000 jobs. Professional and business services, temporary help and so forth, is an estimate of loss of over 100,000 jobs. Mineral, mining, oil and gas, estimated just in August alone, 6,000 jobs. What I just told you has exceeded over 200,000 jobs lost since Donald Trump took office. We haven't reached Christmas yet. Kids going back to school, parents are complaining how high shit is. On average, everything that we buy went up 5% since Donald Trump took office. So eggs are 5% higher. Now they may have some deals where you may get eggs a little bit cheaper sometimes and company might bite a little bit. But on average, everything's gone up like 5%. I saw a video today that was really released in April of this year, April 2025. And that was when Donald Trump released his little Independence Day or whatever it is for the tariffs. There was a video of a billionaire at that time that said, I want to get this video. He discussed, he's a mega donor. I think his name is Ken Griffin. He's a Republican mega donor. And what he had to say about it in April, and just think from April to now, there's some things that shifted, but we'll discuss that in just a hot second. Let's go ahead and listen to him real quick. And I hope this takes up the whole page.
I'm going to make it really clear. From the perspective, if we were Europeans looking at our U.S. assets, we've lost 20% of our value in 4 weeks. Okay? 20%. Like the United States has become, through the, if you use the euro as a reference currency, we become 20% poor in 4 weeks. There's not a lot of money being made in that environment. Yeah. Okay, like when the pie is rapidly shrinking, there are very few people who jump for joy. 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000, 1 in a million. There's no one who's a winner in that scenario. So the answer is no. There's no great opportunities when the pie is rapidly shrinking. All you're trying to do is tread water and not drown. That's what you're trying to do in an environment like this.
So we're treading water and trying not to drown. what he was talking about then in April, that's when Donald Trump came out with this astronomical, tariffs. And we've been in negotiating mode since then. As you may notice, our stocks have gone up and down, up and down. It had a nice little rise there for a minute. Based off of financial people, because it's not me. I watch financial news, and sometimes I'll watch the Fox News too, because I'll try and compare it, their stocks, stuff like that. I try to compare it to what they say to what other people who are learned and respected in the industry. And oftentimes, they are spot on, because they can't just kind of waver from what dollars and cents. They can't get on here and tell people it's doing great, put your money in, and then you lose your money based off their stories, whatever they say. They're not like in some kind of House or Senate where they have immunity. People can sue. So they have to be factual about what these numbers read. Plus, finance people know damn well they lying if they do. So they're very close to like the real shit. But what you'll see with the Fox, their business and stuff like that, you'll see with them, what they'll do is literally say, well, the numbers are down, and they get kind of shocked because they get them right on the spot. And sometimes there's some shocking numbers. When they had the 79,000, they said something. It was I forgot the big black dude. It looked like his head looked like a big ass nut, but I don't know his name, but that guy, I don't take the time to know somebody's name as a Fox person. But he was like, is that all? That's total? It was so funny. And it's sad that people, 79,000 is abysmal. But just the idea of they thought it was going to be better. And Maria, when it Bartiromo, whatever, she was like, 79,000. and they still try to shade it. Oh, it's going to get better. Things are happening. There's a lot of tariffs and these are going to work. And they know better than that. They know better than that. And still telling their people that it's going to get better somehow. Well, the 22,000 came out and they still had those same type of problems. It's bad, they say things like that, but then they try to sugarcoat Donald Trump. But give it some time. They talked about it can come back up in the next 6 months or whatever. But I think it's going to be better once everything starts to kick in. We bring some of these manufacturing jobs back, and I tell people, and this is the thing that kills me about even the news and shit like that. I'm like, you guys on these mainstream media, because Fox ain't going to do it. You guys need to be truthful to the American citizens about Democrats and Republican leaders over in past history, whether it be, Bill Clinton, whether it be George Bush Sr., whether it be part of George Bush, whether it be Obama, whether it be Trump first time, Biden, or Trump the second time. We sold American jobs away. Even in Reagan. Reagan, I believe, was Russia, and partially it was George Bush Sr. started it up, but Clinton finished it off of dealing with the NAFTA process, with Mexico, Canada, and us. They sold our jobs down the river and lied to us. Bill Clinton knew that wasn't going to create jobs. He sold us out on that. Call a spade a spade. George Bush Sr. knew that was going to fuck Americans over because they knew that these businessmen were not going to do what they said they were going to do. The trickle-down economics was never going to work. They knew these greedy bastards were going to take the money and run and not create the jobs that they promised. And because they did not give regulations on these people and tell them that they must create the jobs if they're going to take this money from the government, if they're going to take this, we're going to pass this bill, you have to make sure that the American citizens are taken care of and that they will receive these jobs that you promised. And they fucked us over and did not do it. That's what George Bush Sr. and Bill Clinton did to the American citizens, right? And that's what Reagan did to the American citizens. And I think Nixon as well. I'm not 100% sure if he had something to do with that near the end or what. That's what they did to us. Every time they do this shit, it's for the billionaires. And they tell us they're going to give us jobs, and our jobs never come through. We were a producing country. We were producing a lot. And this country right here said to us, America, our leadership, sold us down the river for the billionaires. You know what? We can make everything cheaper. America's always buying. Let's make America a consuming country instead of a production company, a country rather. And we'll just sell everything at extraordinary prices to Americans and buy it really cheap for China and Mexico and all these other places. We can make a shit ton of money. I mean, we're already rich, but man, it's taking us $10 to make shoes. We're selling them for $30. We're only making like $15 off of that. But if we send it over to China, they got all kind of fucked up laws. I've been over there. I done seen these people working slave wages. We got children working, man. We ain't got to pay them nothing but 3 cents to make a shoe. Do you understand the profit margin there? 3 cents? $10? But what about the American people? What kind of jobs would they have? Fuck them. We'll figure it out. We'll figure something out. Technology. We'll build a bridge or something. We'll give them a fucking job. Whatever. Fuck them. Leave them out of it. 3 cents, $10. Get this shit up out of America. So they sold us down the river. Some of these unions thought jobs were going to come back and they didn't. They sold the employees down the river. Union members down the river. Jobs gone. Now it's all about how do we survive without these jobs being here? People's jobs are gone. Many of the people had an option to leave the country and go work over there. For what? 30 cents a day, bitch? I ain't going there. But they were paying some of them to train these people how their particular products were being made here. And therefore they were still getting their salary, but over there. So they was kind of rich in that area. That's what they did to us, ladies and gentlemen. They took our jobs away from us and told us that we were going to get this great thing for it. They did it in the 80s with Reagan, fucked us over. Did it with Bill Clinton and George Bush Sr., who started it all. He took the picture and everything, but his presidency ended. And you know that President Clinton could have said, nah, fuck that. Put the brakes on. We ain't doing it. We know they did that, but that ain't our thing. Nope, he kept through with it. So Clinton, you're part of the whole process. It is what it is. And then Donald Trump, what is he doing now? He's the one who came up with this new program. I try to remember the name of it because he named it after like some kind of like the YMCA type of shit or whatever. USMCA. That's military shit for like the Marine Corps or whatever. USMCA. That's what he made it as. Because it's USMC or something like that. But USMCA, he made that deal. Got rid of NAFTA. It was the same damn thing with a different name that he just like always gonna put my name on Brandon shit. Biden comes in and keeps it. Donald Trump comes in and says, oh, this is trash. Well, bitch, you put it together. Why the hell are you calling it trash now? It's only been 4 years. Less than 4 years when you created it. Or was it? No, it was over 4 years. I think it may have been like 6 because he did it like in his second term, in his second year. 6 years this thing been going on. It ain't even 6 years yet because it was a 6-year plan. He broke free of it before 6 years. So it was actually into this thing like 4 years or so. 4 or 5 years. He broke the plan before it was even over and said, nah, we don't want that no more. They can't trust us because we didn't keep our word. And what did they say they're going to do? Bring back factories. They did that with Reagan. They did that with Bill Clinton and Bush Jr. or Bush Sr. Why the fuck we believe in them again? Each time they did that, it was for the billionaire, and we got fucked, America. Average citizens got fucked. Go learn your history. Don't listen to this black man right now. Go learn your history and come back to me. Let us talk facts. Fuck all that feeling shit. Let's talk facts. Fuck all that they make you feel good shit. Let's talk facts. They did it before. They did it before that. And they're trying it now. America keeps falling for the fucking banana in the tailpipe. You guys are suckers if you think that them bringing back factories here is going to make our lives better. They're going to fuck up our lives and they're going to make your 14-year-old kids work. Because they realize how did China one up us when we were buying shit from them for 3 cents, 10 cents, $1, selling it for $20 here, making hand over fist profit. How did they surpass us getting that tiny ass change? They started doing it for everybody. Look, America is the biggest advertisement. Look what we did to America. We gave America all this money. You can bring your shit here too. Then they realized, you know what? If we start making shit for everybody, kind of on the cheap level, then they need us. And when we decide to raise our prices just a tad bit every year, they're still going to need us. And when we make this shit automated and we don't have to have so many employees, they still going to need us. When we start creating robots, that's why their technology started surpassing the fuck out of ours. They're going to need us. And they went from a country that was in turmoil to a rich ass country that owns $800 billion of our fucking debt. Our bonds, 800, they're the second largest. Japan's the first. How? 40 years, 30 years, whatever the fuck it's been, of consistently having a strategy that America's not going to hold us down. And they surpassed us. Got so much money, they bought our debt. We don't own no fucking Chinese debt. They basically own us in many ways. They're playing chess. We're still over in this bitch over here playing jacks. We on our twosies. It's just that bad. And they want you to believe bringing back factories is going to create jobs. They lied to you before. And if you just read between the lines, MAGA, that Howard Lutnick dude literally said, go find it, that we're going to try. And we know these jobs are going to be part AI and technology and then also people. So there aren't going to be a lot of jobs for you people. It's going to be a lot of jobs for AI, which they're trying to build up. There's going to be a lot of jobs for like robots and shit, which they're trying to build up. Automation that they already have. But China's already light years ahead of us on that. Now, what country is going to come to America when they don't like us? Talking about bringing back manufacturing. Give you a hot second. We are alienating every country. Say it again. We are alienating every country. Just in case you didn't hear me, I'm going to say that again. We are alienating every country. There is nothing really in America that no other country can't make. So if you piss me the fuck off, every country, make all you want, bitch. I'm not buying it. I will go to Korea. I will go to Russia. I will go to another fucking country. I don't need what you're spending 10 years to fucking buy. Because I'm alienating every country. Even the idea of building factories, which would take 10 years. Why the fuck would I buy from somebody who forced me for the next 10 years to start buying from my enemy? By that time, me and my enemy are close. We frenemies. What the fuck I'm gonna leave my frenemy for somebody who fucked me over so I had to go fuck with my enemy to be friends? Can't trust them, but I gotta work with him because your dumbass decided you wanted to play like you was like the king of the world. Why come back to you? What do you deserve from me? If I can buy it over there, why do I need it from you? And if the dollar is weak, give me my money back before it goes too weak, because my 800 billion just went down. While my 800 billion is still worth 800 billion, I'm pulling out. They're going to have the biggest and fastest pull-out game once America's dollar starts to change. If they get close, in which they have been for years, to getting the euro or BRICS to be the main dollar, you might as well say goodbye to this shit. If you ain't got no money, you fucked. You broke right now, just think what happens when the dollar crashes. Just think. The only thing that made Donald Trump stop with these tariffs and hold off was because Japan started selling the bonds because they couldn't trust America. So that stopped Donald Trump in his tracks. He came out, so we're going to put a 90-day pause on it. Go look it up. That 90-day pause that came up the first time was right when Japan sold. Everybody thought it was China, but Japan sold its stock, its bonds, and the bonds number went down. It's like, in a sense, it goes up, but still, you get my point. The bonds itself was a situation where he was afraid that that's going to fuck everything up. Donald Trump automatically came out and said, putting a hold on it. Didn't tell you why, but when you look at the numbers, it was because of the bond. Japan sold off because they didn't trust America. It was kind of shaky. And just that little move made Donald Trump jump. And at that point, ladies and gentlemen, Japan knew that they had Donald Trump by the testicles. Just squeeze a little, and he squealed. They didn't squeeze a lot. Squeeze a little, and he quit. Donald Trump wants to play strong, but he's weak. He doesn't have it in him. He's Mr. Bone Spurs. When the army called him up, he punked out more than once. And that's what they wanted MAGA as a leader. A guy who had bone spurs, lost 6 casinos through bankruptcies. And that's not even mentioning the depraved crimes this man committed on people economically and physically. And never would pay his full bill. Always paid a portion of it, then sicked his lawyers on people to stop it. Yeah, horrible, horrible human being. Thank you, Jen James, for the 5 memberships. I appreciate you. So those are the things that it happened today. And in our world, we are not stronger. We are weaker, ladies and gentlemen. Weaker, not stronger. Oh, and did you hear? It's crazy shit today. This is something that MAGA, I don't think, understands. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Democrat or independent or a person, or liberal, whatever, right? People who think that, like over 80% of Americans believe that we should have stricter gun laws. That's something that, almost every American has agreed to and said that's what they would like. Stricter gun laws. Right? Excuse me. And we've been fighting for that for a while, but Republicans, MAGA, and that was the gun lobbyists. They have always been talking about Democrats coming for your guns. Anyway, they've been doing that forever, right? And they never come for your guns. They come for like parts of your gun that can turn a regular gun into an automatic gun or semi-automatic gun, whatever the little thing is. I'm not a gun person, but I forgot. I remember there's a little piece that you can add onto your gun and make it shoot, more rapidly. That little stock part was banned for so long. Now it's no longer banned. They banned like assault weapons for a while, for so many years, and crime did go down, but then that also came back. But we've all said, we got to have some kind, not all, 80% of us have said, Americans, including Republicans, have said that we need to have stricter gun laws in some way, shape, or form. And Republicans have always talked about, it's mental health, gun don't kill people, people kill people, and all this other shit. All right, whatever, you get it. Right? So every time a Democrat was a leader, Republicans and the gun lobbyists would say that Democrats are coming for your guns, and all that ads would come out, Democrats coming for your weapon. And it would send these Republican crazy ass people and just batshit ass crazy people who believe in propaganda. It would send them reeling. They would run, get a paycheck, whatever, sell a car, and go out and buy 17 guns and shit. Just whole house filled with guns. You're like, what are you preparing for? Like, miss, what are you planning on? What war do you plan on going into? Like, sir, do you plan on having your own little reenactment of the Civil War or something? or some particular war you like, World War One. What is it? Why are you buying all these weapons? Because they're a bunch of pussies that's scared that people are gonna try and attack them when ain't nobody trying to attack them. I can understand people liking guns, but going out and buy one every other day just because of the fact that they're gonna take my guns, I'm gonna go get a gun. Do you understand? If the Democrats, this is what I never thought of. I was like, these people are crazy because they'll say like they're gonna take your gun. Well, like I said, I want to say, over my dead body. Did you remember last year? Biden was president, I believe. Or was it last year? I want to believe that Donald Trump was president when this happened, but regardless, I can't remember who was the president. But the reality was, one of those type of nut jobs did something, and his statement was he got his guns in the home. You're not gonna take my guns and blah blah blah. He was a Trumper, big time. Oh, you're gonna take my guns and all this Trump shit in. So he had one of his weapons cocked up and ready. They unloaded on that fool in his house, and all I could think of was like, all those damn guns, and you got your ass killed before you shot one of yours. You just had yours. You thought you was gonna win. How many arms did you think you had? Did you really think you had 36 arms? Did you really think you was gonna make it with 100 people outside and you won with a bunch of guns that you got to shift and hopefully don't get shot? I mean, these people are absolutely stupid. But he thought he was gonna make it. I was like, yeah, you didn't make it. Didn't make it. You floating somewhere, but you sure in the hell ain't in that body, because they lit that ass up. I don't get how they don't get that. Fear and stupidity together. Oh boy, woo, something wrong with that. But let me get on to the point. Sorry. Thanks again, Babylon Fires. I heard today Trump is coming for trans guns owners because he considers them mentally ill. They will be the first, but won't be the last. See, Babylon Fire knew where I was going with this. So today, they coming after the DOJ, Trump's DOJ is considering, hopefully this video pops up, this picture pops up. And I don't want people to think that I made this shit up. It is real. It is a real situation. Donald Trump has come out, his people, and said that, there you go. Trump's DOJ considering banning trans people from buying guns. And here's the thing. I ain't got no problem with trans people having guns, anybody having guns. Just be responsible with your guns, stuff of that nature. I get it. I understand that. I just believe people don't need no damn weapons of war in their house. I mean, what do you need that for? It ain't like an entire platoon is going to come to your house and try and unalive you. And if they do, you're in the drug game. You may not know it, but you're in the drug game. If a shit ton of people coming out your house, you in some kind of drug game you don't realize you in. Your kid, your nephew, somebody. Because ain't no that many people coming to your home trying to unalive you, right? But that's their fear. But talked about trans people because this, if you see this photo, I'll bring it down a little bit because it's a little tight. This is of the trans person, the Robin Westman. Let's just play this out because they stupid, y'all. They stupid. But let's play it out. Let's play it out. They just said that this is what they want to do. And if they follow through, let's just take this down the line a little bit. Do you see something other than the fact that this person is trans? I'm just saying, before I get there. But, all right, trans people, mentally ill, they think. Taking guns from them because they're trans and mentally ill, and that's the people who mostly kill people in school shootings. I can only think of, I believe, 3. I want to say 2, but I'm just going to give it 3. Trans people that have 2, I think, believe shot up a school. Another one shot up like a bank or some shit like that. I want to say. I may be wrong about that 3rd one. But there's only been a few that have been trans. The rest of them have something in common with this trans person that isn't trans. If the small minority of people unaliving people in schools and mass shootings are trans, what is the majority of them? If you see, and I haven't got the picture up, my bad, let me bring it down there for you. What does that little young man and woman, trans person have in common with all the rest that aren't trans? White. I'll give it to you. White men visually could be trans, but white men. Do you know that most of the gun deaths in America are done by men? Gun deaths, suicides are done by men mostly. Do you know that the percentage of white men that die by gunshot wounds to themselves, suicides? Do you know the percentage of all of them? 80% of gun deaths by suicide are done by white men. So if they go down this path to say that trans people are mentally ill and therefore take their gun away, it is nothing but a case away from people to say, you know who's more dangerous? White men who are white nationalists. They're more dangerous than trans. And they're in the same racial group. We think they're mentally ill. How far away before the case comes to get guns out of white men's hands who have to prove that they're just not crazy? Even though we may have video of them being white nationalists on their websites and shit like that, which we can classify as mentally ill. They don't even see 3 steps ahead of them. They're going after this person that they can't see as a white kid, and that the rest of them are 99.999 white kids. They see the fact that this person is trans, and you can't tell that from looking at this child. Monster at this point. But prior to knowing that, you didn't know this was a monster. It's just the most idiotic thing, and they can't see it. They can't see that if you go down that path of getting this person for being trans and calling them ill because they shot up a gun, who's to say that we can't start a case and say we think, because the high percentage of them are white males, that there's something mentally ill with some of these white men that are pulling guns and killing kids and killing people in schools. Racist people are mentally ill. Therefore, they must go to jail, and you must take the guns away from them. I'm like, have at it. You're shooting yourself in the foot. And it's hilarious how they bitched and moaned about liberals, Democrats are coming for your guns, when it's MAGA and Republicans that are talking about taking away your guns. It's crazy, y'all. It's crazy. You just can't. This shit, you be like, did they really just say that out loud? I mean, did you think it through at all? You're setting a precedent. We just have to wait for a liberal court, and you guys can't have guns no more. And oh, we're gonna fight against you got one gun against an entire military or police department. Your fate is blow the fuck up. That's what your fate is. You're not making it out. You can got 75 guns, not unless you get 75 robots to shoot for you while you hide in the basement. You ain't making it out alive, bro. They can't add. They can't discern shit. They just stupid. They're just stupid. Anybody who thinks that they're gonna take on a whole army of people like it's gonna be out in the wild, wild west, they just gonna send Sheriff Dipshit and you guys are just gonna square off. I got a gun. Boom, boom. One of us dies and I walk away the champion. It ain't gonna happen like that, bro. Get your ass out of the wild, wild west and step into the future. I mean, you gotta go to the future. Step into the present. It's just ridiculously dumb. I mean, whose boy is this? You know what I'm saying? Whose child is this that you need the parents who raised these people need a whooping. I'm just saying it. So your parents should have whooped you more so that your kid would be straight. But that don't make any sense at all. Taking the trans guns. That ain't nothing but 2 steps away from taking it from white kids who we think are crazy. You know they'll try to take it from black people first, but still. It's just a dumbass move. We need to take guns from people who are demonic, dumb, stupid, ill, and take out massive weapons that can shoot multiple bullets within seconds. Because even if you get somebody who goes crazy, they may be able to get off 3 bullets before they get one in the head, as opposed to getting off 75 bullets or a whole round before you find out who is there. It just makes sense. Every country that's had this problem got rid of these guns that shoot like crazy. And here's the thing for me. If you love it so much, we should be able to and this is just my mind going off, and you know, I know people ain't gonna like it, but I'm trying to give solutions. If you like these military style weapons and you want to have fun with them, maybe there should be some regulated places where you can go and actually try out these weapons that you don't have to buy. Therefore, you don't have to budget these guns into your life. You can actually buy other things like a house, buy your kids a car, things of that shit. Instead of spending $3,000 for a weapon, you can go to a venue where you can be able to shoot all the military weapons you want in a safe space and have a good old time with your boys, drinking and shooting and whatever the hell you like to do. And then when you take your ass home, the weapon stays. People stay safe, and nobody can go out and kill little kids with them. Hello? I mean, this shit ain't hard, but I don't know. 514 said, vets will be next. I was a weapons instructor for nearly 2 decades. If a trans person poses a threat, vets are on another level. I mean, it's just insane to me. I'm like, look, you can have a gun, protect yourself, that's fine. But if you are a person that needs a gun that shoots, 10, 12, 15 bullets in a second, maybe even more, or whatever amount they do, massive amounts, you're a drug dealer. Because there's no way in the hell you need that many bullets to hit anybody that may be breaking into your home. Are you planning on entering a war zone? I mean, no. So these arguments are asinine. I need a weapon. You don't need that type of weapon, bro. Quit lying. They need to make those weapons available in safe spaces, far out, away from homes. You know what I'm saying? Some little desert area, some wooded area far out that nobody lives in, where y'all can have a heyday. But just can't take it home. Hell, you can own it, but just can never take it home. Leave it there at the venue and rent a space, and your gun's always there. Whatever. As long as you don't take it out, because then we don't have to worry about your mental health. You could be crazy, batshit, and everything, but you can't have that type of weapon because it's stuck over there, locked up in a space that you can use it. Without it, you don't need it. Get your handgun for home. I mean, it doesn't have to be hard, boy. It doesn't have to be hard. But that they make it hard for some reason. So that Republican donor, MAGA donor, said we lost 20% of our wealth in April. I wonder what it is now. It did come back a little bit, but losing all these jobs since Donald Trump came in, 200,000 jobs plus, is insane. Farmers are struggling. I saw a guy who used to be, I want to say a senator, maybe he was a representative. He's a farmer too. He was on some show earlier today, and he said that farming jobs, I believe, are down 6,000 jobs or something like that, and that a lot of farmers are having to buy, is it concubines? I keep on messing it up. Different types of equipment. They got to buy them used. They're used to buying them new. Used is more of a hassle. They usually buy them new, and now they're having to buy them used. And a lot of them are having to sell their products for cheaper and having problems selling their products to other countries because of the tariffs and different things. So it's been a struggle. He said it can get worse. It's bad, but not super bad yet, but it's going that direction for some farmers. For other farmers, it's hell. But I'm guessing he must be a larger farmer with the way he's speaking. but the smaller farmers are feeling it. The housing prices have increased. Combines, thank you. That it? Bigger combines. There you go. I say concubine. I always get this shit mixed up because that's another one that's, I forgot what you call it. But yeah, the combines is big machines. My ex her dad was a farmer. I always messed it up, but I've been on them. They're pretty cool. But yeah. You know what? I did a study, not a study, but a research. I wouldn't say it's a study, to find out, like, if you were to give Donald Trump a grade, like in school, right? What grade would you give Donald Trump? I asked ChatGPT this based on all the things that he's done. And I asked in a non-biased way. I'm like, if anything, I asked, like, what, from January until August of this year, what grade would you give Donald Trump, like, in America domestically, like, internationally, different things, based on what, our country has been like, America has been like over, the since it was created, since we created America. And it came back with like a D minus. And that was on just Trump on the economy. And then I asked the same thing about American leadership, and I think it said it gave him credit for something, so I think it said like C minus or something like that. No, let me get it right here. I got it right here. It says overall global trust. I said how is America trusted around the world or whatever. Report Card for International Relations, and it says global confidence is a D minus. Trust slipping dramatically, allies turning away from us. I said alliance integrity, right? A D minus as well. Europe, Canada, and Australia increasingly skeptical and questioning our reliability. Diplomatic maneuvering as a C minus. Limited progress with NATO, but overshadowed by mistrust and unilateralism. And leadership perception from other countries, a D minus. Viewed as arrogant, dangerous, self-serving, with short-term wins but strategic liabilities. And the final grade for him on that is a D. It says, under Trump's second term, America's standing in the world is fraught with erosion. Confidence continues to crumble, allies fraying, and adversaries emboldened. Strong leadership would build bridges. What's happening is burning them. They're burning bridges all over the world. We see it. ChatGPT noticed it based off of all the things that they've done. The one thing they did give them credit for was making the GDP go from 2% to 5% for most countries. But by doing that, Europe countries no longer like really rely on us. Even Canada said that the strong, like 80-year or whatever it was, relationship with America is gone. Why destroy everything we did all this time to build? If you think you can build it back up, that's one thing. But who wants to deal with you, bro? Who wants to deal with this country that can't get their people to act right? Our voters in this country has us in this situation because they elected an idiot. And we were so divided, Democrats, that we couldn't beat them, even though we have more people that vote on our side of the fence. It's just that our people didn't come out and vote for us. They came out and voted for individual issues, not realizing that democracy was on the ballot, even though millions of us told them that democracy was on the ballot. So I always call MAGA stupid, but we got some dumbass Democrats on our side that were told over and over and over and fucking over again that democracy was on the ballot. Focus on democracy and we can work on the issues that you have. But without democracy, nobody cares about your fucking side issue that nobody, they barely care about now. Think about it once the democracy's gone. They have no control. They can't fight for you. Because you can't say what you want to say. You get arrested for it. You thought we was fucking playing. Now what do you think? It's insane how people pay no attention to how this country works. His second term overall report. His executive orders, they give him a C minus. Immigration and birthright law, they give him a D. Employment and tariffs, a D minus. Legal challenges, a C. I believe that's less because I don't think it's calculating all the ones that he's lost, but that's okay. It said a C. Foreign policy and trade, B minus. Now it's giving him like, you know, credit for like the business aspect of things, of pulling in money from these countries, having them invest in us. He got people to invest like over $550 billion into this country. But what do we owe for it is the point. It's just dealing with actual stats. And I get what it's talking about, but those numbers to me don't work, because that $550 billion is not in our pockets. It was a promise. And people's words are not real until it cashes, till that check cashes. We all know that. Environment and climate policy, F. Leadership and governance, D. I was still saying F minus on that shit, but final grade, Donald Trump gets a D minus as a leader, based off of what he's done since January 21st to August, the end of August. This man is working on a D minus, and that's being nice. It's giving him credit for shit that he got done but hasn't came through yet. That $550 billion is not in our pockets. It is a promise to us, on top of a $400 million plane. It's ridiculous. But anyway, you get my point. He should have got a big F. Yeah, he did. Like I said, this right here is really being kind of going down the line. No bias. It's paying attention to the things that happened and basing it on the history. And this dude, not one A, you notice. A couple C's, mostly D's, 3 D's, an F, and 1 B minus, which again, it based on the money being invested into this country. Any president, if they got $550 billion invested into the country, that's a good job. But will that money ever reach America? We don't know yet. We have no clue. So I don't mind giving them that, but I think it's temporary because that money has not reached our shores. It was promised, but wasn't given just yet. Just like when Donald Trump, I'm sure if I'd asked this back then, when Donald Trump was bringing back the semiconductors and the chip plant to America, I'm sure he would have got a B or an A for that. But down the road, they pulled out and didn't do it. And he didn't pass the bill for our economy whatsoever. He didn't pass anything. His House was horrible. His Senate just as bad. Well, we were the head of the Senate at that time. I think his House he was head of at the end of his presidency. So he would have probably got a B or an A for that. But it didn't come through. So it went straight back to F. All these grades he got, that's here for right now to August. And I'm going to keep on doing this to see what it's like from January. Well, this is actually from January 21st to September 5th, actually. It included September 5th up to today. So, yeah. We're going to see. Keep on giving this dude a grade. I know it's going to be F. I just know it. Because, again, they keep on promising you, oh, judge us in a year from now. No, motherfucker, fuck all that. How you going to be judging you from a year from now? Ain't nobody can pay their rent a year from now if you fucking losing your jobs at a clip like they were losing them. We lost jobs. 1 month that they said we had 13, that we gained, I want to say, in one sector they said we gained like 13 million jobs or some shit like that. 13 million, not 13,000 jobs. Or 11,000 jobs. And we ended up losing 13,000 in one sector. Can't keep that up. Donald Trump sucks, 100%. If only he didn't have concepts of a brain. So be prepared economically, you and your families. You know, pay attention to if you got money in the stock market, be prepared for that. Your 401k, start watching that on a day-to-day basis. I know sometimes you want to look at it every month. Start looking at that day-to-day. Just until, you know, you start to see what kind of trends are happening with this dude, because he make a decision and your money just goes down. I'm not a person who'll tell you what to do. I just have friends who have done, you know, investments for a living very well, and I'm not that type of hands-on as they are, but they're financial people. They're in their shit every day, and they'll see something, they'll take their shit all out and put it in something that keeps their value, and they do all kinds of crazy shit, and they build wealth. You know, it's just insane, but it's a lot of work. But you got to be doing that for a living. Get yourself a person who does stocks and bonds, CPA or whatever it is, to be able to help you out with that, because that's not my wheelhouse. But I know a lot about it, but I wouldn't give anybody advice on anything in that aspect. But yeah, Donald Trump sucks, point blank, period. And man, I'm glad it is the weekend. Oh my goodness, it's been a long week. I don't know what your week was like, but my week has been very tiresome. But I can't complain. You know, I'm alive and kicking, and enjoying life. Wonderful kids. God is good to me, so I'm happy about that. Glad to have you guys in my life as well. Wonderful people who are fighting a good fight, that understand that we're all in the same boat. Unified, we can make changes. Divided, Republicans will destroy us. And I ain't just talking about us being Democrats. I'm just talking about American citizens. They're destroying themselves and they don't know it. Poor Republicans, middle-class Republicans are destroying themselves because they're not doing their homework. They're not looking this shit up. They're taking these people's word for it. And that's what sucks. We get divided when people don't pay attention to facts and they focus on their feelings. And that's what all of them do, is focus on their feelings. How do I feel today? That's not going to get it. If you're feeling a certain way based upon what you hear somebody say, then something's fucked up. Because you first got to find out whether that person is saying, what that person's saying to you is true or not. Keep going, looking up what they're saying. Even me, keep looking up what they're saying, because that's what builds trust. I'm not going to trust you if you tell me one thing, then I go and research it and find out it's way off. Now, I can understand people getting their numbers wrong. I can totally understand that. And when you bring it back to me or whatever, you bring it back to, if I bring something back to somebody, the way to go about it is also tells you whether the person trusts. Oh, I got it from this source. My bad. That source must be bad. Let me check. That type of person, we all trying to be on the same plane of factual stuff. You ain't got to be mad at that person. But when a person gets challenged and tells you to fuck off and something's wrong with you and they never give you a source for anything and I just know what I'm talking about, that person you need to excommunicate from your life, because that person will never, ever look up facts, because facts hurt their feelings and they'd rather stay in the dark so they can feel good about their idiocy. I said what I said. And I lost a lot of friends because of it. And to be honest, they were never my friends if they can vote for somebody that's a racist. They can vote for somebody that's a rapist. They can vote for somebody that's xenophobic. They can vote for somebody that's against trans and gay people. If they can vote for that, you ain't no part, nowhere near a friend or even family of mine. Point blank, period. Those people have never done anything to you. And if you don't like whom they are, I think you might want to look in the mirror, because there's something the fuck wrong with you and not them. Let them live their life like you live in yours. And I remember years ago, a gay friend of mine said something to me, and this is where I learned it from. I don't know where he got it from, but it made me. When I was younger, I had problems with gay. I'll be honest. I was younger. I had no idea what it was all about, and then I learned as I got older. So, he said to me, and I've heard it before since then. He said, when did you wake up and choose to be straight? I was like, never. I didn't. So why do you think I woke up and chose to be gay? I said, I didn't say that, but but it's like, Why would they think that? And I was like, explosion. Brain just, why would I choose to do something that's going to harm me? I'm just being me. And I said, you should lead with that. You should lead with that. Because that right there, bow, just blows your mind. I never woke up and chose to be straight. I just am. So it is what it is. So that's the way I look at it. Thank you guys for all your support. All my members in here, much love to y'all. I appreciate every last one of you. I'm going to have to go do my music show. If you like old school music, you can come to TikTok. Mr. Straight Facts over there, 23, I believe. Old school music. People get 2 requests. I play my list. I play their list, and then I close it out. Can't do it on YouTube. You can if you get through the DJ program, which is kind of cool, but their music list is kind of limited to some degree. But we'll see. Maybe one day I'll do it over here with my limited list. But never know. But I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great weekend. I'll see you. Was it Monday? Is it Monday? What's going on? No holiday, right? Yeah, Monday around 5:30, between 5:30 and 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trying to get a specific time, but I work too, so it's a lot of work. I want to end up doing this full time, but you know, you got to start actually making money to be able to pay the bills, and that hasn't happened just yet. But I love telling the truth. I'm not gonna stop doing it. Been doing it since I was a kid. It made some people like me, made some people hate me, but it never made me stop being me. It is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys have a great night. Much love to you. Have a great weekend. And you know how I end it. Not that I ain't going to do the F you part. I'm just going to say, I see you when I see you.